This is Stacey McKibben with the Master Communicator Podcast, where CEOs, C-suite executives, and senior leaders share their advice. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best leaders know how to share their ideas concisely and quickly. Let's jump right in. Question number 1. In a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Brian Freeman. I'm the CEO and founder at Heartbeat.com, and we're a marketplace that lets real people act as influencers for brands.
Wow, and how long have you been doing that?
So Heartbeat has been in existence since 2016. It's actually a pivot from my first company, which was a female-focused dating app that I started with a couple other people in San Diego back in 2013. So we saw maybe a bigger opportunity in helping regular people act as influencers for brands when our college rollouts ended up being all about how many posts we could get on Instagram. So we took that offline program and converted it to an online one and started scaling that in 2016. And we think we made the right choice.
That's amazing. Well, I noticed from your resume that you've got quite a bit of entrepreneurship on there. So it seems like I could probably call you a serial entrepreneur.
Probably, yeah.
It's kind of in the blood. Well, that's good. Well, we'll be really excited about the ideas you have to share. Question number 2, what's the best thing about leading people from your perspective?
So I think it goes back to entrepreneurship being in your blood. When I'm kind of leading a company and thinking about the problems that come up on a daily basis, I'm just somebody who has always had it in me to want to run a company for whatever reason. As a little kid, that's something I really cared about. When I was 10 years old, I started a website in a clan for a video game back in the day and built it to 300 people. So they kind of kicked me out once they realized I was 10 years old because there was a bunch of older guys in there. But it's just something that's always been there for me. And I think my favorite part about being an entrepreneur is that every single day is a massive learning experience. And so there's never really a dull moment. If you find that you are, kind of hitting boredom, it's time to explore new ways to stretch yourself. So that's kind of probably one of my favorite things about it.
And I love that. I mean, the idea of there's always something to learn from everyone. So when you think about leading others, what are you learning from them as well as what are you giving, right?
Absolutely.
I love that. Question number 3. I often hear from other leaders that business would be great if it weren't for that pesky people problem. I'm curious. Tell us your thoughts about that.
So I think that's one of the things that stretches you, is how to be, especially for first-time founders. While I'm a serial entrepreneur in some ways, Heartbeat's the first company that's had a significant number of employees. Even right now, we're about 13 people. So those are 13 personalities, 13 people you need to find ways to motivate, to keep motivated, making sure you have the right members of the team. So at the end of the day, it's if you're not a great people person, then you need to find people to fill in around you who are, so that you can accomplish things. Because companies are cool. Ideas are a dime a dozen. If you don't have the right team to execute, you're literally going to go nowhere. So you just can't do anything by yourself. So you have to keep in mind all the time that, the people that you have in your organization are the reason you're successful.
That was the gold right there, Brian. That was what I was looking for, the soundbite. That was beautiful. Question number 4, what other successful business leaders like yourself should be on the podcast?
So I can think of 3 off the top of my head. So one is an amazing duo, 2 friends of mine, Greta and Lauren, the co-founders of Blue Fever here in Los Angeles. They have overcome the odds and raised money for a really exciting idea, a text-based community for young people to basically learn from an AI product that teaches them how to go through really hard times. Another is Cody Barbeau, who co-founded Trust and Will. He's actually based in San Diego. And he's also had some really wild ride as an entrepreneur, and I think would have a lot of interesting things to share.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. I think, the audience really likes to hear, well, who else out there in the community should we be paying attention to and learning from? I often feel like, the teachers are there as long as the students are ready, right? We just got to look around for them. Okay. Question number 5, what piece of advice about communication would you give to other leaders?
Study. So take time out of your workday. My personal goal is 1 day a month. I dedicate at least half the day to just doing personal development. I'm also constantly reading. So 2 audiobooks I think are really good. The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. That's an awesome one.
Mm-hmm.
Another really good one is Leadership and Self-Deception. So taking the time to understand, that you don't know, there's a lot more that you don't know than you know. And constantly pushing yourself to revisit how you communicate, how you think about your role in your organization, and learning from, standing on the shoulders of giants, of people who have taken the time to really concisely put these things together for you to learn from. Maybe another is to join a CEO group if you can. I found that incredibly valuable. That's actually where I heard about those 2 books. So I'm a member of Vistage here in LA, and it's been an awesome experience.
Yeah. Very cool. Thank you so much. I know that, I've already written down a couple of those. I read 5 Dysfunctions, but not Leadership and Self-Deception. So I'm going to definitely pick that one up. Maybe pick up the book Clarity by Jamie Smart if you haven't tried that one. I
will check that out.
Read. Yeah, super fun. All right. And then my magic question for you, question number 6, tell us about your favorite boss or teacher. Who has really influenced you?
So one person that comes to mind is actually the general manager of Heartbeat now. His name is Victor Allen. He was an advisor of ours for a couple years before he joined the team full time. And he's just got an awesome way with people. He and I spend a lot of time talking about the best ways to communicate, and the best way to, help inspire people. So, I spend at least an hour a day with him talking about related topics. And so he's just been a fantastic person to learn from. And just because the person's not your boss or your teacher doesn't mean you can't have, like you mentioned before, those people in your organization you're constantly learning from. So that's just been an awesome experience.
That's awesome. Well, and again, I think what I'm hearing from you, Brian, is it's all about being the sponge. It's about having the humility to recognize you don't know it all, and to leverage the tools and the resources around you to really, propel yourself forward. So I love all of that. Thank you so much for being on. I'm curious, how can people find you if they want to get in touch with you or they want to learn more about your business?
Best place for me is on LinkedIn. So just search my name, Brian Freeman, and look for the Heartbeat logo. I'm super active on there, and if you send me a message, I will absolutely do my best to respond, and likely will.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much again. I really appreciate it. This is Stacey McKibben with the Master Communicator Podcast. For more insights and ideas, please go to www.concilioteam.com, and we look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.